All right, everybody, we are coming at you just shortly before 8 o'clock Central Time. It is almost 9 o'clock Eastern Time. We are tracking a rash of severe weather. I apologize if you have a delay or an echo there. That should take care of that. If we had an echo, that should be taken care of. And want to jump right on into business here as we knew that we'd have the potential for quite a bit in the way of severe weather on this day. We've been monitoring it for several days on my other outlets. There's a quick look at some of the warnings. Right now in Texas alone, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tornado warnings across portions of eastern Texas. So that's what we're on here for. And if you don't mind, bear with me for a moment as we get started. Making sure I get all of the information out to our viewers that are watching. And thank you for being here. If you guys don't mind a quick like and share the program, as always, it is appreciated and help us to get the word out for places that are being impacted right now. Right now, specifically, it's just east. The threat is just east of Austin and Waco. Most of the activity is also east of Dallas, Fort Worth. So this is the region that we're watching for you here. And don't mind my multitasking as we take a look at the satellite perspective. Here I'm going to add our primary radar in just a moment. Big upper low with a attendant surface low also generating across north central portions of Texas. And you can see that explosion of thunderstorms. That's convection that you're seeing there on the enhanced infrared satellite imagery, where you have the yellows, the oranges, and the reds. Those are the tops of tall thunderstorms. And it's underneath those clouds that we're seeing some of the worst of the weather, specifically there in eastern Texas as severe weather continues to develop. It is a moderate risk day now. A moderate risk was increased from an enhanced risk earlier. They increased it to a moderate this evening as it became apparent that these storms would be fairly discrete in nature. And I think that was what the biggest question mark that we had was whether or not these storms would become discrete. So there is a close-up look at level 2 radar. We're going to go down to our WSV3 product here. So I'm going to loop this for you. It does have the actual areas where the tornado watches are in effect. Further north, Wichita Falls, parts of the big country of Texas, including Abilene, my former stomping ground. That's a severe thunderstorm watch for you. Southern southeastern Oklahoma, that's also a severe thunderstorm watch. We're looking at multiple days of severe weather coming up at this point. This is day number 1. Tomorrow, another moderate risk further east into portions of the deep south, parts of Louisiana and Mississippi, specifically tomorrow for another moderate risk. I actually think tomorrow is a more dangerous setup for tornadoes than what we have right now. But what we have right now is producing a lot of potentially tornadic storms. Lots of rotation with these, as we'll show you here in a few minutes. Now, I am connecting with our friends over at the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center as well. And looking at reports coming out of San Antonio. Still looking at talking about the storm in Lee County. A large hook on it, but not confirmed. Moving into Burleson County. We'll investigate this particular storm coming up. Out of Dallas-Fort Worth, we have a tornado warning that's in effect for Falls and Limestone counties that goes until 8:45 p.m. Central Time. So about 45 minutes from now. So these are kind of long-winded warnings, which is good. Gives people an opportunity. Tornado warning also continues. That is for Limestone and Hill, Texas. That part of the storm goes till 8:15. Okay? And also a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Coolidge, or 14 miles west of Mexia, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. These storms are all moving generally to the east. They will be impacting the Houston area, and especially areas near Houston and just to the north of Houston here over the next few hours. Lufkin, and then eventually out towards Shreveport, Louisiana. So that's the way it's evolving right now. Let's take a look at some of the ingredients, and I also will want to get notice out to our friends that follow us on Twitter. So we'll have that for you coming up here in a few minutes. There's a look at I wanted to show this image because you don't see this every day. This was about time 6 o'clock, so about 2 hours ago. We had surface temperatures down here in far southern Texas. Was that Laredo maybe? 95 degrees was the surface temperature. At the same time, up here near Cheyenne, Texas, 35 degrees. You see a problem here? 35 in northern Texas, 95 in southern Texas. That is a 60-degree swing across the Lone Star State. It's no wonder why we are, in fact, seeing that explosion of thunderstorms that we're seeing across the region right now. All right, if you don't mind, give me just a moment, and I'll get the word out to our friends that follow us on Twitter and on Getter. You guys on Getter yet, by the way? It's a new free speech platform, and a lot of people are really hopping on this thing, and so far I've had a very good experience with this, so happy to check that out. And so if you don't mind sharing, if you're following me on YouTube, awesome, give me a share. If you're following me on my Facebook Live, which is Weather Live Media, Weather Live Media is where we should be broadcasting from. Let me double check to make sure that one's up and running properly. It should be. But I want to get this over quickly to my friends on Getter and also on YouTube. Let them know that we're on here, and they can also track live while we get this information out as it comes in. And so let's see if we are in fact on the right channel. I've got, yeah, there we are. We're on live on Weather Live Media. Thank you for being on. And I'll monitor comments, by the way. Let me get that.
Yeah, there we are. We're on live. Oh.
Okay, let me get that off. I've got, hey, it's Rich Lupia in the house. Meteorologist Rich Lupia with us. He also provides quite a bit of weather content, specifically in the mornings, on this platform. So very happy to see Rich. And Rich, you and I, buddy, have to catch up soon. Brian Samuels says, sounds good, looks good. Jim Perry in the house. The professor says video and sound quality good. Scott Bristol apparently pretty impressed with with what's happening out there in Texas right now. There's a look at the high resolution satellite imagery. What I'm going to show you next is I'm going to show you what's happening underneath these storms. So let me bring that up on our SW3 radar. Current radar analysis. And there's a lot going on, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn the radar or the satellite off. And you can see the development of these storms over the last few hours. Now, what we didn't know would happen, whether these storms would remain discrete or not. And by discrete, we mean kind of isolated in nature. Would it just be a big old conglomeration of showers and storms? Oftentimes when you just have a lot going up, it dissipates the energy. But when you can concentrate the energy in discrete cells that are not associated necessarily with a line or a larger cluster, these storms can suck up more energy and they can do more damage. And so that's the reason why I think that we are seeing the level of severity that we are, because these storms, they're working in their own environments, as I will show you up close, by the way, coming up here in a few moments. We'll show you on that level 2 radar. So give us a moment on that while we get the word out. Thank you for being on. Keep the likes and shares coming. I'm going to check in with our YouTube friends here in just a couple of moments. Anyway, let me know what you guys are seeing, and if you're getting storm reports, because I don't have everything in front of me. I'm gonna crank up my Twitter feed here in a few minutes just to see if there are images that are coming in. I'm sure there are. I know the Weather Service is saying that there have been many reports of actually showing what appears to be tornadoes on the ground, not confirmed, but what appears to be on the ground. And unfortunately for Twitter, they like it short, sometimes too short for my taste. So I got to really tidy up my messages to send it out. And so I appreciate you guys bearing with me as we jump on into this. Again, a huge temperature swing across the state right now, with 30s to the north, 90s in the south. And that is out and away. Thank you very much for your patience. Let's see who we have on the program. And we're going to go back and forth between our two radars, going back over to our level 2. Give you an idea of what we're looking at here. And I did promise level 2. Should have that momentarily. You see those temperatures across the eastern part of the state, though, nice and juicy. Very, very warm. There's should be level 2 here. Here you go. All right, and let's dive into this, and let's see what we can see here. That storm, and that is located. This is approaching Somerville. Looks like we've got pretty good rotation on that. And let me get a storm motion from warning. That's moving towards Lyons. That storm, that warning goes for this one. That goes until 8:15. About another 6 minutes. That is for Burleson and northwestern Washington counties. It is a radar indicated tornado. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Let's take a look at our correlation coefficient. Looks diffuse enough. I do not see a TDS on this. That is good. Let's make sure that we're looking at this is out of San Antonio. Let me see if I can't get data coming. Check that. That's coming out of Lufkin, Texas. I do believe that we are on the closest radar source. Just want to verify that we are. Okay, and so there's a tornado warning as well out here. This is for central Milam County. That goes until 8:30 Central Time. And also a radar indicated tornado. Radar indicated tornado on that. And then up here, this is further to the north. And I mean, this is the hill country, the piney woods of Texas. New warning issued downstream, by the way. Let's go back to that. The new warning coming out of so the National Weather Service out of Houston, I believe, is issuing this one. Let's see what they're saying. Okay, tornado warning for Brazos, Burleson, and Grimes County until 9 p.m. Central Time. 9 p.m. Central Time. It says at 8:08 p.m. Central Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 7 miles northwest of Somerville, or 9 miles southeast of Caldwell, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Let's put this into motion for you. This may be the most threatening storm that we have on the map right now. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to check in with our partners over here on Facebook. Thanks for being on. Rich Lupia is a fan of Getter. He's a fan. I'm a fan. You guys need to get on there if you haven't already. Okay, our YouTube crowd, let's see what we have. We've got John Now. Is that right, John Now? Hi, Jeremy, just north of Dallas in Denton County. Very familiar with the area, by the way. I spent a couple of years in Abilene, Texas. We would always go out to either San Antonio or Dallas-Fort Worth on the weekends if we wanted to have some fun. Not a lot to do in Abilene. John says, okay, so Bowie, Texas had a tornado. It's west of Denton, and we're going to work our way north next. I've got Ghost King. Hey, Jeremy, good to have you on here. Thanks for being on. Art Tanner and Deborah, thank you for being on. If you guys don't mind, keep the likes and shares coming. All right. So we had to take care of that little bit of business here. Let's get back to live tracking. And again, explosion of thunderstorms occurring over eastern portions of Texas, southeastern parts of Louisiana as well. Let's go back over to WSV3, excuse me. And take a look at kind of the bigger picture. You can see from a satellite perspective. It's very impressive what we're watching. And again, we're talking about a multi-day event, because after tonight, and this is going to go for a while, I'm not sure how long I'll be able to cover, but I'm going to at least cover now because it looks like it's now over the next couple of hours that we're looking at the strongest potential for severe. The strongest potential for severe. So let's go back over to SW3, easy for me to say, WSV3. And this has got the warning information on it, which is helpful. And you can see the warnings, and make that the watches. That's in that red box, and then the actual counties are in the yellow. But they do stretch across a good chunk of real estate right now. I'm going to go on to the latest image. And they are now issuing a new tornado watch just downstream. So that looks like that's brand new. Coming out of the Storm Prediction Center. That tornado watch covers the rest of eastern Texas, really. So this goes tornado watch for Houston, Montgomery, Polk, Trinity, Walker, Texas until 3 a.m. Central Time. So obviously what they're seeing happening now, they believe that potential, that threat will still exist here well into the evening. And I want to take a look at some metrics as well. We're going to go back over to level 2 radar. And then I'm going to look at some metrics with you. Some of the ingredients that, again, is necessary for these severe storms to fire. Okay, so this should be bringing up level 2. And I refer to it as level 2. That's the type of data it is, and really it's the fastest, highest quality data you can get. And yeah, this is a big supercell. This is a big storm. They're not messing around with that storm near Lyons. It looks like this is getting better organized as I'm watching it with you. It had a real nasty hook to it earlier, and then it looks like it's cycled. But now that storm, it's really beefing up. It's got a big body to it. In a moment, we'll take a look at a cross section of that storm. Take a look at the cross section, which is basically take a look at the third dimension of what's happening here. We'll look at that in a minute, but I want to make sure I'm looking at everything. So I'm going to go north, and I know my friend was talking about the storm that was up there closer to him. It looks like the Dallas area is fine, by the way. I'm going to go over to Dallas radar just real quick, just because it's such a large metropolitan area. Maybe a few people up here. So our friend on YouTube up there near the Denton area, these storms are all east of you now. All right. And while I'm doing that, what I'd like to do as well is probably go ahead and share this information over on my primary Facebook page. And if you haven't followed me on, if you're on Facebook, follow me on Weatherlight Media, but also just Jeremy Capel. Capel, by the way, spelled with a K. Let's see how quickly I can get that over here. Okay. All right, working on that. So again, just scattered showers. I mean, these are scattered thunderstorms. They're sub-severe. Eastern suburbs of Dallas. So you're in the clear for Denton, Dallas, Fort Worth. No problems going forward. But you are going to have problems again, maybe in the far southeastern Texas. Let's see if we might want to take a look at that radar out of Fort Smith real quick. You've got one tornado warning in southeastern Oklahoma, and I don't want to, ignore you. All right, that's over on our primary Facebook page, so hopefully that does well. And I'm going to come back over here with you guys on YouTube in a moment. So there's a lot of data. And again, it's not real good looking data here because we're a distance away from the radar site. We're looking up at about 15,000 feet. So that's a very, it's not a great sample. But from what I see here, not terribly organized. We'll take a quick look at NROTS. That's normalized rotation. It does show some rotation there. Storm relative velocity. It's not over the top, but it's worth watching for a moment. Looking underneath, the correlation coefficient seems to be okay as well. So I don't see any evidence that the thing is on the ground, but at 15,000 feet, very difficult to tell. So that warning is for, again, southeastern portions of Oklahoma here. Tornado warning for central, this looks like a challenging word. We're going to call that Pushmata County. Probably got that wrong. But you know who you are. 9 p.m. Central Time. So we're going to go ahead and leave that alone. We're going to come back to the south where you can see the warnings. They're really concentrated. Really, it's that area in between, say, Lufkin, Austin, and Houston. Waco and Houston. It's really in between Waco and Houston. So we're going to come out of here, and this is KGR. Is that Lufkin? I think that's Lufkin's radar. And so you got one tiny supercell. They're going to let that go. So it's approaching Hearns, but they're letting it go. They don't seem to be interested in reissuing for that. It's a really small storm. And size isn't always the greatest indicator, but this one doesn't seem to be producing a ton of rotation either. So they're going to let that go. So we have two primary areas of interest. You got the storm up here to the north. That would be located near Thornton, Texas. And then the one to the south here on top of Lyons, Texas. So these are the two primary ones that we're going to be focused with and concerned with, probably for the remainder of this update, but we'll see how things go. And I'm going to put this in motion for you. And I'm going to check back over with our friends that are following us on the Facebook. Thank you very much for being on. And then YouTube in a moment. It has been shared to Twitter and Getter. We're on several social medias, so come on over and find us wherever you get your weather information from. I do have an Instagram account. I don't post a lot of weather stuff on Instagram. I just haven't found a demand for that. There doesn't seem to be much of a demand for people getting weather through Instagram. I guess that makes sense. You probably wouldn't get weather through Snapchat as well. Am I right on that? So I'm glad that we do have these venues available. Oh, let me get rid of that. Sorry about the echo. All right, there you go. All right, so watching this storm, I'm going to archive some data here so we can look back a little bit further. All right, and we are monitoring. This has got, again, what appears to be good broad rotation. It is a strong storm. It is discrete, as we were describing earlier, as is the one further to the south. Broad rotation, but I'm not seeing, again, a tight centralized rotation. And when I come on over to correlation coefficient, nothing really strikes me as particularly threatening. We look at correlation coefficient, by the way, to see if there's the possibility of debris in the air. And whenever you hear a meteorologist talking about a TDS, or a TDS stands for tornadic debris signature. And when you are looking at a couplet, usually through storm relative velocity, and that matches up with the right metrics on correlation coefficient, we call that a TDS. And it's proof that a tornado is on the ground. I don't see that, and I haven't seen that yet. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but we do not have confirmation of a tornado on the ground. These are radar indicated, but it's not proven. We'll take a look at some social media coming up here in a few minutes. I'm going to go back over to satellite, and we'll use our other radar in a moment. In the meantime, I want to see who we have over on our YouTube channel. Thanks for being on. YouTubers. You guys are always weather savvy, and we're happy to deliver the content for you. Yeah, okay, I got a Weezing. This sure looks like some danger. Texas, be safe. Thank you. Barbara on here. Prayers for safety for everyone. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, you guys, thanks for watching. We're going to have multiple days of coverage here. No, I'm not going to be on multiple days in a row straight, but I try to pop on when things start to get ugly to help give advance notice. But I'm giving you advance notice that there's going to be another big day tomorrow for the potential of severe weather across portions of Mississippi, Louisiana, the Deep South. Another day of moderate risk. I'm going to show you that coming up here in a couple of moments. Right now, this is the enhanced infrared satellite imagery. Obviously, big spin in the atmosphere. That's that low pressure. It's really amazing what's happening underneath, though. This is the temperature profile from just a couple of hours ago. I think this is 6 p.m. According to high-resolution NAM, 95 degrees. I think that's Laredo, Texas. 95. And at the same time, way up here in the far northwest corner of the Panhandle, that's Cheyenne, Texas. 35 degrees. Are you kidding me? 35 to the north, 95 to the south. Can you say clash of seasons? Absolutely. Here we are on the second day of spring, first full day of spring, and Mother Nature is delivering what you would expect. Actually, this is quite dramatic to see a temperature profile like this any time of the year, but it does occasionally happen. That's really, really impressive. All right, let's take a look at more. So we want to look at some of the parameters of what's happening in our atmosphere here. So I did bring in some data for you that we'll look at together, and I'm going to start with instability. You know, you can't have severe if you got no juice in the atmosphere. So let's bring in some instability here. Take a look at what's happening with CAPE. This is convective available potential energy. If you don't have some colors here, you can't have a thunderstorm. Where you have the yellows is where the storms could be strong to severe, and it's really that pocket right there ahead of that main band of storms is where we're seeing CAPE, or convective available potential energy, in the order of 2,000 to 3,000 units. That's a lot, especially this time of the year. So there is quite a bit of instability across the eastern part of the state, and all that's going to advect east as the system moves in time. So I don't think instability is going to be an issue. I think we keep the instability, and it's going to remain with us tonight. Now, the one thing that I see that is going to be, this is the limiting factor. These are essentially bulk shear. It's the amount of wind energy, you know, the lowest 3 kilometers of the atmosphere. There's all types of wind energy over eastern Texas. But where the more vigorous storms are, we're running out of wind energy. So that wind energy is going to try to outrun these storms. As it does, I think the storms will generally weaken as we go into the overnight period tonight. Doesn't mean we can't have more tornadoes. In fact, that's the reason why they issued that secondary area, that secondary tornado watch further east, because that's really corresponding with where these high winds are aloft. Okay, so the moisture is going to try to chase the wind, but I think the wind's going to outrun the moisture. Not now, though, because right now we're seeing a healthy bit of both. So we'll continue to monitor as these storms continue to explode. Just realized my temperatures and my current data is gone. Not sure where it went, but it was 73 at last check in Houston. I know that. All right, so there's a look at the enhanced infrared satellite imagery. I'm going to go through the radar one more time, and then I'm going to talk about tomorrow, because I think tomorrow we all need to be focused on. I think there's a better setup for severe weather tomorrow than what we have tonight. Obviously, a lot of warnings tonight, but tomorrow I think probably will pose a larger risk. So with that being said, let's come on over, take a look at these the level 2 I think we've got up. And let's see what's happening with those 2 primary storms that we've been watching with you. If you guys are new to this YouTube channel, please subscribe and come back. This channel is reserved for highest level of severe weather events. And we oftentimes will pop on during the worst of weather. So it's a good idea to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because you know what? Weather's not important if you get it, the next day after it's already occurred. This is, it's all about the now. All right, so they're extending the warning, and I'm hearing from our friends over at the Weather Service in Houston, coming out of Houston. So they're going to extend that warning for... Okay, so 2 things are happening here. This is out of Dallas, I think. Nope, not Dallas. Yeah, it's Dallas. 9:27 p.m. A new tornado warning was issued for Freestone and Limestone County until 9:15 p.m. Central Time. At 8:27 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 10 miles east of Groesbeck, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. So that's the storm here. And there's a little couplet that has developed. That seems to be where the concern is. Let's see if there's any evidence that it's on the ground. Looking at correlation coefficient. Let me get that couplet identified a little bit better there. Okay, there's the couplet. Correlation coefficient. Ooh, it shows it's possible. That's not a sure thing. A little bit of evidence that maybe there's some debris there. Not sure. They're saying it's a radar indicated, so it's not confirmed according to them. The other storm that we're concerned with here to the south, this is approaching College Station, Texas right now. It's really broad rotation. I'm not overly impressed with that at all. All right, so that's what's happening now. Multiple tornado warnings. They still have a tornado warning up here into southeastern Oklahoma. That one does not look like to be a likely candidate to produce at this time. We did have the tornado report. Train spotter reported a rain-wrapped tornado 2 miles southwest of Giddings, Texas. That was at 7:30 local time. 7:30 local time, Central Time. And we're starting to see the actual line that's ahead of the cold front developing, and that's from Georgetown all the way to just north of San Antonio. We'll take you back over to our other radar. And then we're going to talk about tomorrow. Okay, so here's a look at the big picture. So we've got 2 tornado watches that are in effect. I'm going to go ahead and take off the radar data for just a moment. And anywhere in the yellow there, across eastern Texas, that's a tornado watch. You go north into southeastern portions of Oklahoma, that's a severe thunderstorm watch. So, large chunk of real estate being affected by these storms. So let's take a look at the convective outlooks here. The convective outlooks, which, see, don't need to turn those watches off. Yeah, makes it easier to see. So that's the moderate risk that they actually issued. That moderate risk goes from Bryan, Texas to Lufkin to Waco. So this is for tonight. That's moderate, and then the enhanced outside of that goes to Shreveport, from Austin to Shreveport to just south of Dallas to near Houston. So this is tonight. Now, well, I think it's honestly, I think the setup probably is not warranted for a moderate tonight. I would have stuck if I was the, I'm going to play backseat quarterback for a moment, but if I was working at the Storm Prediction Center's office, I probably would have held off on that moderate tonight. because again, the upper level winds are outpacing the moisture. They're not. You kind of have to get those aligned to get, really severe stuff, and you would expect that for a moderate risk. I'm not saying that we don't have some nasty storms. We do, but I don't know if that deserves a moderate tag. But that's me, looking at kind of second guessing after decisions have already been made. Tomorrow, though, I completely agree with this. Tomorrow, we have a much better intersection of those upper level winds and greatest instability. And they've targeted an area that I think is very well placed. Tomorrow, Jackson, Mississippi, another one of my old stomping grounds, to Meridian. That's going to go all the way down to about Lafayette, Louisiana. That's a moderate risk for the day tomorrow. That's an enhanced risk for New Orleans, all the way up to Greenville, back to near Beaumont, Texas. It does extend into portions of western Alabama. So this is for the day tomorrow. Severe weather could spread to the Florida Panhandle tomorrow night. We'll watch. And then I'll mention day 3. And I apologize, by the way, about my congestion. I don't know how you guys are dealing with allergies where you're at, but the pollen's killing me. I'm in the Ohio Valley, by the way. The maple, the elm, and I think it's the mulberry I'm suffering from right now. Probably all 3. Okay, so this is Wednesday. They've got a broad area, and Rich Lupia is going to be in the middle of this one. For Wednesday, broad area of slight risk. That may very well get upgraded to an enhanced. That's on Wednesday. So again, a multi-day event. So this is Wednesday. This is tomorrow. And then we go to what's happening basically right now. This is tonight. I should probably mention there's a blizzard warning for northern portions of the state. That's the panhandle of Texas. And my nose is running like a sieve. Like a sieve. It's a blizzard warning from Amarillo to Garden City, Kansas. I know. Yeah. You wonder why everybody's having problems with head colds and whatnot. You got this type of action happening. All right, I'm going to turn that off. We're going to back over and we'll finish up with radar. I don't see us going much longer with this particular update. I do want to take any questions you have. But I just don't think this warrants a long-winded update. It warrants some coverage, which is why we came on. But probably not a long-winded update. There's a look at the whole storm. Okay, yeah, you can see, oh, there it is. It's snowing in Amarillo now. You see that changeover. They're going from like heavy rain, even could have some lightning and thunder with that. Now they're going over to heavy snowfall. That's all going to fill in tonight. Oh, it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. See what I've got loaded over here for y'all. All right, I've got Janice Briggs in the house, everybody. Hey, Janice. And it's been a great visit. I know you and Lisa have enjoyed your time together. I know I enjoyed visiting with you Friday night at Mr. Gaddy's in Shepherdsville, and also at our church, Northside in New Albany, Indiana. And I got to witness Janice Briggs getting baptized. It was awesome. And God bless you, Janice. All right, so there you have it. These storms, again, they're going to go all night. Could you have a tornado in the middle of the night? Yeah, unfortunately, you might. And that could extend all the way into the Shreveport area. But with that being said, I don't think the risk overnight will be as high as it is right now. It should subside some overnight. But it's going to maintain a level of intensity. And then tomorrow with heating, we'll have a whole nother issue tomorrow afternoon. And I think it occurs earlier tomorrow. I think it's early afternoon, mid-afternoon, all the way through the afternoon tomorrow. But I think probably early to mid-afternoon will be the highest probability of seeing some really, really nasty stuff here tomorrow. So with that being said, yeah, you're going to run into some weather tomorrow, Janice, on your way back. So let me see if I can't help Janice out with like a little, we'll give her a forecast back. So let me finish with my radar update, and then I'll help Janice get home. She's heading back to New York tomorrow. So she's taking that track, you know, up 71 to 90, but should be in 71 for most of the day tomorrow. So we'll take a look at that in just a moment, Janice. And with that, let's go on over, take a look at future radar. And this is going to be the HRRR. The HRRR. It's high resolution rapid refresh model. I'm going to walk you through this. So this is tomorrow morning. We're going to go back. This is now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead in time. This is midnight. This is 2 a.m. This is 4 a.m. This is 6 a.m. 8 a.m. The storms are still in eastern Texas as of 10 a.m. tomorrow before they make an exit. And then I think it's, 1, 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon that we really watch these things blow back up. Notice all the snow across the panhandle. That's where you have a blizzard warning. A blizzard warning for the panhandle of Texas. Okay. So let me check in with our YouTubers, and we're going to wrap this one up, and we'll help get Janice home. Well, wait, we got 32 on YouTube. Thank you. If you're new to the channel, we want you to come back. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell, because what we give you, it's really only relevant if it's real time. Okay, that's what we cover. We cover the worst of all weather across the United States. So if it's really severe, and if it's really severe, you got to know now. That's why we urge you guys to hit the notification bell. So thanks for being on. I've got John on. No questions. Thanks for jumping on. We need the rain here, perhaps without the tornadoes. Absolutely. Ember Rose, oh no tornadoes. Yep. Okay. Thanks. Zang, Barbara, Ghost King, Art, and Deborah. Thanks for being on. We'll finish up. We got one last radar update coming up right now, and then we're going to help our friend get home, and we'll say it adieu for tonight, unless something jumps off my screen here, which is possible. It's happened before. So that's why we do the live updates. You got to keep it fresh. All right, there's a look at the big picture. It's just rain, a lot of rain for much of Oklahoma, Kansas, rain, snow on the backside. You've got blizzard warnings in effect for the northern sections of the Panhandle of Texas, the Panhandle of Oklahoma, southwestern portions of Kansas. You got winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories across portions of eastern Colorado. It's that time of the year you can get a little bit of everything. I showed this image earlier where literally you had a 60-degree swing in temperatures across Texas. It was 35 in the Panhandle. It was 95 to the south near Laredo, Texas. Unbelievable. Here's a look at level 2. Final look at level 2 here. And I'm happy to say this. I mean, it just really does not look that organized. Okay, let me make sure I'm looking at the closest radar site. I am. So this is as good a data as we got. I'm going to check in with the Weather Service, see what they're saying. I don't think they're saying a whole lot. Okay, yep. I mean, I don't have anything really new. They do continue the tornado warning for Freestone and Limestone counties in Texas until 9/15. That's out of Dallas-Fort Worth. It says a severe thunderstorm with the history of producing a tornado was located near Teague. That tornado occurred 2 hours ago. 2 hours ago. And then I don't see a lot of evidence that it's produced a lot since. Now, there are spotted reports of down power lines in Commerce, Texas at State Highway 24 and State Highway 50. Okay. All right. But again, I'm not seeing a ton of rotation here. Let's take a look underneath. I don't see... Well, let me do that again. Not a lot of evidence there for a TDS. We'll continue to monitor for the now. And then the other storm to the north, that's near Fairfield, also not looking that impressive. It's just not. And taking a look at the... Yeah, I think we may have some hail. We have hail contamination in this one. But there is hail that we should probably look for. I'll go over to Ville density. There it is. That's a hail spike, so I can trace that all the way back to the radar. Radar is here. Let me do a little illustration for you. That's why we saw that signal. All right, so the radar is here, so it's shooting a beam this way, right through here. So that beam has got to go through some sizable hailstones, and as it does so, on the other side of those hailstones, you get this scattered spike. And I forget the definition term of it, but that's what these are. These are hail spikes. Anyway, I find it interesting. It's just a weather nerd in me coming out. It happens from time to time. With that being said, we're going to focus on the day tomorrow, and I invite you guys to come back. I think these storms, while they, if you live in these areas, you need to watch them overnight, unfortunately. Make sure you got the NOAA weather radio, or you got the weather app on your phone that's capable of delivering the warnings overnight. Keep your notifications on. If you use one of those weather apps and you're out here in Shreveport, guys, it's not going to get to your area until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay? So a lot of people probably try to go to bed. Again, if you have one of those weather apps, which I highly suggest, on your phone, make sure before you go to bed you still got the notification on. Make sure you get that alert. And also, I still like the old school NOAA weather radios. I think they do a good job as well. All right, so I'm going to finish up with our friend Janice Briggs, who's heading home tomorrow. And let's see what she may be encountering here. All right, Janice, we're going to take you to Ohio, and we're going to walk you through the day tomorrow. Well, she's in Indiana now, but that's okay. We'll have her covered here. All right, so here we go. Let's go on over to all right, this should do it. Okay, Janice, we're going to pick this up tomorrow morning. This is about, let's see, 13Z. So we're going to pick this up here in the morning. This will be, I got to do my math, about 8 a.m. Okay, so we'll pick it up. You're going to have a round of rain in the morning. I think you were talking about heading back north early afternoon. So this could be your time frame. That would be rain up and down 71. Unfortunately, you're going to have rain on 71, but you should clear out by the time you get to Ohio. So early afternoon, that's going to be rain solid in Kentucky, southern Indiana to Kentucky to Cincinnati. And then as you head towards middle afternoon, I think you'll be fine by the time you get north of Cincinnati. So you'll be prepared for some wet roadways, nothing severe, just showers, some heavier downpours. All right, that's for my friend. And this is for you guys. Safe travel, says Jim. And all right, appreciate you guys being with us here this evening. Again, I do expect to have another update tomorrow. Probably we'll get on much earlier. I think that what we are looking at for the day tomorrow, it's a moderate risk. I think is a better placed moderate risk than what was placed this evening over eastern Texas. So, central, eastern Louisiana, and then parts of south central portions of Mississippi. Look out. Again, you're going to have a lot of ingredients coming together, so we'll be watching that. We'll be on covering that during the afternoon tomorrow, so join us then. As always, we appreciate you guys being on, whether it's via the Facebook feed or whether it's via our YouTube feed. Thanks for being on. Be sure to come back, subscribe to the page, all that fun stuff. Thanks for all you guys do. You guys be safe tonight, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.